Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Listen carefully.
Alright everyone, welcome to War Room episode 18, I believe. We were just talking a little bit beforehand. That video was made by Pikachar, the 228th. He's a huge boss. But yeah, welcome everybody to the 18th episode of War Room. Tonight we're going to be talking about one of the bigger changes to the game with the patch notes from tonight, after I fix the overlay and make sure everything looks, you know, not like trash, because it wouldn't be a show if I didn't do something wrong. So Siri is off getting food because apparently he hasn't eaten in 12 hours. So we're going to start off at the bottom this time, introducing everybody, and we'll start off with Eagle. Let's do it, man.
What's up, everyone? I'm Eagle Falconhawk, Blackstone Knight's most average pilot.
Most bird guest NA, welcome again. And then another returning guest, we have Heim.
Hey, Mario. Heim the Light.
Oh shit, mute your shit in Skype, mute your shit in
House
Skype.
of... Ooh, is it double? Is it echoing? It actually is muted.
Yes.
In Skype.
Oh no, who didn't mute their shit in Skype? What is going on?
Oh, is that better?
That is better.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. Okay, perfect, there we go.
So, Heim the Light, member of the House of Lords.
Alright, welcome back. And then Twinkie, I didn't bother typing your whole name because it's long and only Eagle gets the really tiny name, I guess.
Twinkie Overlord from SWK. What's up?
Welcome. And then we have Surly, who is joining us via picture
Surly
of
Mohawk.
himself.
I'm at work, give me a break. Surly Mohawk from the 1st Sky Jaegers, which is the Sky Rangers Brigade official tournament team.
And then I'll just introduce Siri for him. My co-host, Siri Waffle, is off getting food. Like I said, he hasn't eaten in a very long time. It's hard, you know, going so long without food when you're busy whooping my ass. The reason we started late is because I just came off of a 4-game MRBC series against SJR, which they completely stomped me in, as they should. Did get a nice headshot on one of the games, so that was fun. But, yeah, how about you guys? How have your games been this week since the patch? Has nobody played games?
Oh, derp. Are we talking about you said jump jets?
Yeah, we can. I was just gonna try and hold the phone on that till Siri got back. Talk about tournaments and whatnot and how everybody's doing.
Blackstone Knights hasn't played since the patch. We're supposed to play Credit last night, and didn't happen in RHOD. Did play Balls of Steel last week, and they played us very, very tough. It was a very good match. I think it ended 3-1 in our favor, but a lot of them were pretty close.
Nice, nice. How about the Lord time? How have you guys been doing?
We played QQ last night. We were the home team, so we chose Skirmish. We beat them 3-0.
God damn, I hate Skirmish. Why does everybody pick Skirmish now? I don't understand.
Honestly, from someone who's played it a decent amount, there are times when you get positioned in terrain you don't normally get positioned in against the enemy team.
That is true.
The change in environment makes it a lot of fun, and in some games, you know, you switch from place to place much faster than others, so you know there's a varying pace to it. I think it's an interesting game mode, even though it's completely stripped of any other objective-based elements. It's just killing.
Yeah, it's the only reason I don't like it is because I had that ridiculous 5-game series against Sig, where we ended up like 2 of the games were draws, just like 15 minutes of sitting there being like, Oh. Because, like, they would peek over the
the other
ridge. Yeah. What were you going to say, Surly?
I did. The other catch too, I said with Assault having so it'll change up strategies a bit, so it's a little bit fresh to be for.
Is he robotic for anybody else?
Yeah, he sounded like.
Okay, good. Just making sure that, like, I'm not totally losing my connection. What can I say? No, yeah, it does. It brings a lot of new strategies to the table. One of the things that I do like about Skirmish is, as Heim said, is you have to play in new places, because the ideal position in Assault or in Conquest, where you're trying to protect your base or protect multiple points, isn't the same as when you're just trying to protect yourself and prevent them from getting a good position on you. That being said, if they get to a point where it's just like, well, there's no point in me even trying to engage them, then it's just, you know, a tie. Twinkie, are you eating a Twinkie?
I am.
God damn it. Okay,
I'm
so
gonna
I
put
actually...
the continuous Twinkie Overlord Twinkie eat count in the chat here tonight. We're
Do
at
you-
1 right now.
How many do you have, Twinkie?
I have a box.
Yes! Perfect!
Box.
So
Wow.
you should tell that story quick, because I enjoyed that story, and my flask is empty, so I have to fill myself up really quick while you tell that story. Why'd you name yourself Twinkie Overlord? As a first time on the show, you have to tell us.
It's actually second time, but
Oh, that's right. You didn't have a webcam before. You
Aw.
didn't have a webcam before. It's really hard for me to remember people without webcams. No offense, really.
well, my friend introduced me to Mech Warrior, and at first I was, a bit skeptical. I heard, like there's giant robots and that it's supposed to be fun, but like all I could think, like at the back of my mind was like, I wonder who are these other guys who play this game that I've never heard of. Like it's probably like some greasy old bad guy in his basement. So nothing against greasy old fat guys.
Sace will take offense.
You're all my friends, but yeah. So like I was like, you know what? This is gonna be like a troll account. I didn't think I was gonna be serious at this game, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna be the Twinkie Overlord. Because big guys, they like their Twinkies, right? So
Jesus,
it
guys.
turns out I actually like this game. I put a little bit of money into it. I was gonna be the big yellow Twinkie Overlord Atlas.
Are you implying that you're serious now?
And I never got around to buying an Atlas, but
I was so disappointed when I saw Twinkie tonight for the very first time, and in my head he was always a 400-pound guy who had been was the overlord of Twinkies, but he's gonna be tonight, that's for sure. He's gonna box him. He's not just a Twinkie guy up there with a Twinkie. He's the overlord.
He does have a
All
whole
the
box.
Twinkies.
It's gonna be perfect. By the way, Siri, your introduction was just that you stomped my ass tonight.
That couldn't possibly be interpreted poorly.
Stomped, not pounded. Come on. I was very careful about that word choice.
oh my gosh.
I'm making myself a White Russian super quick, but then we can talk about... So, obviously, we all saw this patch, and we've all been waiting on Jump Jet change. Like, when you guys heard about it, what was your first impression about hearing... Like, what did you guys want Jump Jets to be changed to going into this patch? Let's start with what you were hoping for first. And we'll start with Heim Delight. Because I'm picking on you for some reason.
I was actually hoping for exactly what they brought to the table. It gave jump jets some sort of definition and some sort of background to them and what they could be used for and what mechs use them in what way. It gave them depth, and rather than before where it seemed to just on the stat sheet give you jump height. Some people also got acceleration from having more jump jets, but now it's got this linear thing from lights to assaults, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for going into it. Was that, I mean, we've talked about it, I'm sure 18 times on this show since we've started, about how jump jets need to be scaled to the problem with jump sniping isn't actually the mechs themselves, but the ability to jump and the DPS. And I know Siri has written hundreds of articles on the Reddit All Praise Serious table about jump sniping and just like what's wrong with it and how we can counter it. And I feel like this was a step in the right direction. Did anybody else were you guys looking for anything else going into this patch from jump jets?
Honestly, I didn't even know about it until like the night before.
Well, so we knew jump jets were going to get looked at, but so like Twinkie, before the patch, if you had been going to change jump jets, what would you have done?
Either what they did in terms of slowing down the ascent and stuff to expose yourself more, make the jump jets a little bit harder, or you could have went the other direction and made it like a burst. Where you hit the jump jets and it just shot you forward like a fixed amount. Or,
I think you might have brought that up last time you were on, because I remember thinking that was a really cool idea, thinking that like you just had like a short little burst of jump jets and you couldn't control how powerful it was. It had a lot more skill to using jump jets.
I did want to say shout out to JMan5 who went into the XML file and posted it on Outreach HVG what the actual changes to jump jets were.
Yeah, do you have that link by any chance? I've been meaning to look at that because I tried to find it, but I didn't see it.
It's
I'm sure I could find
sticky.
it.
It's sticky at the top of the Outreach subreddit.
Yeah, it's right at the
top
very top,
comment.
green link. So I mean, shout out to him because I mean, no criticism of PGI, but criticism of PGI. They kind of told us that jump jets were changing and not too much else. So definitely thanks to J-Man for going in there and actually giving us class by class by jump jet what the actual changes were, because that really helps us out.
Oh god, numbers. I love numbers. They're so precise. Okay, so obviously the light jump jet wasn't really changed that much. No changes for light jump jets in terms of acceleration. Mid-air turn speed is 100% compared to normal turn speed. Same. Medium, the class 4 jump jet, cooldown from 1 to 0.7. Everything else unchanged except mid-air turn speed is 90% effective compared to normal. Jump jet, class 3, all heavies, cooldown from 1 to 0.65. Turn rate of 80% effectiveness. Reset is unchanged. Jump jet class 2 for Victors. God, the fact that Victors are the only... well, I suppose there aren't actually. There are only 2 jump jetting assault mechs, so it's not much to talk about. I can do that now too, Siri, because I have a new webcam. Cooldown change from 1 to 0.5. Turn speed from 1 to 0.6. You can only turn at 60% effectiveness. Reset is unchanged. Jump jets for Highlanders, cooldown was changed from 1.0 to 0.625. Duration is increased from 3.75 to 6 seconds. That's for all mechs, I believe. The instant boost was decreased about 40%. Wow, that's a really ridiculous base number. 614.29, guys. That was the original boost value of jump jets. Now it's 250.
Yeah. How do you
Yeah,
determine
it's-
like an oddball decimal place number? When
That
you're
was
running it?
meticulously tested, I promise you. Question mark, question mark. Maybe. Can I say one thing I'd like to nitpick on, and I can't justify it in my head. Why do your jump jets not start recharging when you let go of the button, as opposed to, like, what difference does it make if my mech's feet are on the ground for the jump jets to actually start recharging? Can anyone come up with any sort of justification?
An Abrams
The-
weighs the same as a cataphract. So
The 12
realism
JJ
can
jump.
suck a dick.
The 12 jump jet spotter would never hit the ground.
That's true.
That's a good point, yeah.
I could
That'd be a flying
I
spider.
could cast matches like a boss. Fly around in a spider. Okay. So yeah. So what do you guys think? First of all, Siri, you're a light pilot. Have you noticed any changes?
No, it's almost like nothing was touched for
Ah,
lights.
that's interesting. Okay. Thanks for your insight. Glad we could have you on tonight. Okay, so then mediums, I have to say I've noticed almost nothing for mediums. Like, I was playing my Shadowhawk plenty in the last couple days, and I haven't noticed anything, really. Except for
I think
the recharge time.
is maybe a touch slower.
The recharge time, I think, I really noticed the recharge time on all mechs, but other than that,
even that leg twist speed isn't really noticeable. It doesn't really change the way you jump snipe at all. You could still use it to your advantage. The fact that you can turn when you're jump jetting, period, is going to help your mech.
One of the other things that this didn't change is the fact that it's still harder to hit a mech that's jump jetting than it is to hit a mech that's walking. Because that like shift in mech posture and all of that really fucks with the hitboxes and how that works. So it's still really hard to hit a mech that's jump jetting compared to a mech that's on the ground.
One difference it definitely made in the turn speed is if you're in a Highlander or a Victor and you're trying to spin a 180 and hit that light that's trying to chew up your back, it's a lot more challenging because you're only going 90 degrees, 120 degrees maybe in your turn as opposed to the full 180 that you could turn around and pop them.
So I think we're all in agreement that it's not too bad for mediums. Heavies, I haven't really noticed other than it takes a little bit longer for your jump jets to recharge. Would you all agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just talk about
Significantly longer.
Significantly longer. I definitely noticed it in my Cataphract, but before we move on to the assaults, we can talk about that. I think that was the biggest change here. I don't think the thrust or anything like that was a huge deal. It helps, but I think the fact that it takes so long for your jump jets to recharge is what's going to make any difference, if it makes a difference at all. I mean, I obviously saw plenty of jump jet mechs tonight, so I'm not super convinced that it's made any lasting difference. But as of right now, the effective DPS of a jump sniper behind a hill has been at least halved, depending on your
just because
position.
of the cooldown rate.
Exactly. And again, that depends on the ridge you're on, because there are ridges where you can just, jump jet a little tiny bit to pop over and get your shot off. But on a lot, like before, you could sit behind almost any ridge, jump jet up, drop a shot, drop down, recharge, weapons be off cooldown maybe a second before you were in the air again. So you weren't really losing that much time. But now you're losing significant time on things like AC5s. So.
Just to clarify though, in your match tonight, you're saying SJR was still effective in Highlanders even after this change?
Imagine that.
Wow.
One of the
Question is, how much of that was the Highlanders and how much of that was the SJR?
Oh my gosh.
Swag. Oh, look at that
Oh God,
fucking
no,
shit-eating grin.
No, I'm
Serious.
So I think we all agree that the cooldown change was big behind the jump jets, but I was curious as to why you say that the thrust change didn't make a difference.
Well, it does.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
No, you definitely have to run at least 2 jump jets in a Highlander to make it useful.
So it doesn't make a difference on the other mechs, on like lights or mediums, and I don't really think it makes a difference on heavies. At least I haven't noticed it.
That's because if you look at the numbers, their thrust wasn't changed.
Oh,
The
that's
only
fair.
one that had a thrust change was the Highlander.
Oh, okay.
And you
My
feel
bad.
it.
Yeah. Oh no, you totally feel it. Highlanders are so sluggish now. I feel more mobile in my Atlas than I do in a Highlander.
Okay, good, because now we got that cleared up.
Yeah.
What
No,
I was
sorry.
actually
That was
gonna
me
say-
misspeaking.
What I was actually going to say was that I want to see that change propagated downwards to everything else and scaled based on the weight. So,
Yeah.
like, jump mediums would be 90% of current thrust, heavies would be like 70%, etc. And I think that would be the next step to take, and I think it might actually be the last step that needs taking.
And do you,
Spoken like a true light pilot.
I was gonna say, would you make any changes to lights?
Maybe their cooldown slightly.
Okay. Yeah, so for what it's worth for any of you who haven't tried it out yet, first thing I did when I patched was I started up my stream. I dropped into testing grounds with a Highlander, and I put on 1, 2, 3, and 4 jump jets to see, what the difference was. And you get like 0 liftoff with 1 jump jet. You can just kind of hover. Like you can jump gaps, but you can't like jump snipe.
Yeah, like in order to get the old performance of 1 jump jet, you need 3 or 4 right now,
Mm.
and then 4 is a little bit more, 3 is a little bit less, so it's like 3.5 of the current jump jets is equal to the old.
It's doable with 2, but you don't want to go that many, or you don't want to. You don't want to go 3 or 4 because that's 6 or 8 tons sunk into jump jets.
Call me crazy. I'm the outlier here, but I've been running the jump jets a pretty decent amount since the change, and I don't find a reason to put more than one or two, period, or even more than one. I still run one on my Victor and my Highlander. And
Really?
I love trying to jump gaps on Canyon and stuff in my Victor, or jumping on the platform that the big satellite's on HPG Manifold. You could jump on a pillar and then jump up there. I'm still able to do all that stuff with one jump jet, regardless of that thrust change.
Yeah, but that's on the Victor you said, right?
And the Highlander,
Even
you're saying?
I can actually still... I was streaming it the other night. I was playing the Highlander. I really didn't feel like there was a reason to put more than one, period. And like I said, maybe I'm the outlier here, but I think it's... Until more changes are made, maybe... Because they did say, correct me if I'm wrong, they're going to make more changes March 18th. So whatever those changes may be, I think that might require more. I personally don't feel like it's necessary to use more than one yet. But
Well, I'm
that's
actually
just
hoping.
me.
I'm actually hoping that the changes on the 18th are what I just described, with the rest of the jump jets.
Have they
being given the
stated
same
that there's
thrust
going
range.
to be more jump jet tweaks?
They have confirmed that there are more jump jet tweaks. They have not stated what they are.
And thanks in advance to J-Man5 for telling us what they will be after it happens, because it probably won't be PGI. No criticism though.
J-Man 5, you rule.
He's the best.
Dude, everybody on the Reddit rules. Holy god. They find awesome stuff that I would never be able to dig out of myself.
I'd actually like to continue discussing Heim's point.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you're saying that you've seen like no reason not to take just one still?
Correct. It's from my perspective, like of trying to jump over certain gaps in certain places, or jumping up if you're in the valley in Canyon Network and you want to jump to that top level, I still only use one jump jet to get up there. I don't need to. You can just barely make it, and it was the same way it actually was before when I used jump jets before. You would just barely make it up there. It's slower.
Okay, yeah.
It feels more sluggish. It's a weird
For mobility. Yeah, for mobility, it doesn't make a huge change. It just takes a little more time to get up off the ground. But for actual jump sniping, it makes a pretty damn big difference. Like if you're in a Theta area in a Canyon Network with just one jump jet, you just barely clear it and have almost no time to get your shot off. By the time you find a target to shoot at, aim at it, hit him, you're down below cover with the height you get from one jump jet.
I'll agree that the mobility isn't really changed, but the combat-wise, one, you're going up slower, so that if you're clearing an object, they have more warning to get a counter-snipe shot in, if you're only running one, because your head crests and then you have to wait until the actual weapons get there, right? Because they're not high-mounted, not low-mounted, but like mid-mounted. So counter-sniping becomes a little easier with that additional time. And also your DPS goes down because you have to spend more time in the air on top of the cooldown being lowered.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with that, and that was my point to saying I don't know if it's worth it to take more than one, because I feel like I can make that shot by just clearing it, and if you take three, like I've been running my heavy metal, I feel like I have a longer duration. So the only difference is that it's a duration of the jump jet being used. I don't feel like so I guess overall, like you were saying before, it is an overall nerf a little bit to jump sniping, because the mech is cresting that hill at a slower rate regardless of how many jump jets I think it has. Or it's a minimal difference depending on the jump jets. And that was my reasoning for not taking more than one.
Mm-hmm. For me, it was the fact that you just seem so slow, and with that recharge time, I could do the math, but it's you have to wait a long time between shots if you're jumping if you're jumping the full distance. You have to wait
It's 10 seconds in a Highlander, 7.5 in a Victor, 5 in a Cataphract.
There you go.
Thanks to 90 Proof for giving me those numbers. So
Should have you on all the time.
yeah.
You just always have numbers. It's perfect. Yeah, so that's a long time to wait. That's 7 seconds off the cooldown. PPCs are 3 seconds, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Or
Just-
4? Did they get switched?
4
to
seconds.
They're 4
PPCs
now.
are at
Yeah.
4. They
Okay.
used
They
to
were
be
3 at one point.
Yeah, they were. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You know what
that's still...
that would tell you would be heat efficiency maybe matters a little bit less if you're only popping up once every 8 seconds instead of once every 4 seconds.
You know, that's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about sacrificing heat efficiency for jump sniping, because before the Highlander was such a multi-purpose beast. It was like, okay, let me just bring a Highlander. It's got UX and jump jets and PPCs, and I can out jump snipe and out brawl and out regular shoot any mech on the field. And so it's just like there wasn't a point, because your heat efficiency was fine, your damage output was great, your pinpoint was baller, and you had jump jets. But I wonder,
That's a good point.
do you guys think that you'll see people trading heat efficiency because of that decreased time, or do you think that you'll see different mechs?
Well, I don't know. I gave it a little bit of a shot with the standard 300. Like, I noticed if you drop down one of the UX to like an AC5, just kept everything else the same. You put in the 3 jump jets, and I mean, it felt just like the old Highlander to me. I mean, you have that initial really slow delay just getting up, and then all of a sudden you like skyrocket out of nowhere. And with 3, that seems to be the sweet spot I found.
Mm-hmm.
So you put more on, and then to get to the height that you need to get your shot off, you're only using half of your fuel as opposed to using close to 100% of your fuel to get to that height before. So
The regen's a little bit faster as well, since you have more.
is that true? Do we know that for sure? I was told that 1 jump jet and 4 jump jets
Is
and
it-
6 jump jets, I'll recharge at the same rate.
Yeah, it should
Does it-
recharge at the same rate.
I don't know. I'm not looking at the numbers. That's just what it felt like to
Twinkie.
me.
Twinkie, that was part
I
of my
know.
suggestion a while back about how to change jump jets, but they decided that that would be too severe, so
Well,
everything
because
charges at the same rate.
the thing is if they did that, 1 would have to be even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And that was my intent, that 1 would never be used when I suggested that change, but
oh, okay. Because you just hate assault mechs. Siri's like, I need to make sure lights are perfect.
no,
So
I
that-
suggested I
No,
suggested
I
the
know
same
you
thing
suggested
for
it for
lights,
Yeah,
but like I run like 4 or 5 jump jets on my Jenners. Screw the Church of 1 jump jets. I don't know what was Spianati or onto, but I was
you know, that would actually
getting back on topic.
Sorry, that's an interesting point, is because it would make that, like, we're trying to think right now. We're trying to think about balancing jump jets just between classes, because jump jets are still, completely overpowered. Like, mechs with jump jets are just better than mechs without jump jets. It's just kind of how it works. As long as you, like, if you were to have the same hard points on a mech without jump jets as a mech with jump jets, obviously you take the one with jump jets. But that might be closer to balancing them with every other mech, because then you're sinking tonnage for that value. Whereas right now it's like, oh, a ton for a jump jet, huge advantage.
Well,
What
that was
is
the
that,
point I was
number
going to
4,
make
Twinkie?
now.
Number
That-
4.
I'll just drink whenever you eat one.
That was the point I was going to make now, was that this is a good step in the right direction, especially for the Highlander, and that's why I want this the thrust change to go downwards across all of them. Because now, if you do want to dump heat sinks to have more jump jets so that you can jump, then your performance in a brawl is going down, or if you only want to bring 1, then you're only able to occasionally jump snipe because of all the time that you have to spend in the air than on the ground recharging. So it provides more than just that one and done. You have to think about how much opportunity cost and weight and space that you're sinking into it. And I think actually on the Highlander, it's getting to a good point that it would be, like, there's actually an interesting choice. On the others, it's still a no-brainer because the thrust is so good. And actually, I was going to point out that tonight, most of our Highlanders only had like 1 or 2. but that was noticeable in that we weren't actually jump sniping you a lot.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of clear, like, inline engagements.
Yeah, like, especially that last one, we, like, I think I watched Jagger stream, and he maybe actually pop-tarted twice. The rest of it was just him being in a spot to lay down fire on the ground.
Yep.
So, and I think that's in a good spot.
Yeah. And I think that when you have to commit a large amount of tonnage to make jump jets for jump sniping, so if you have to commit 8 tons to make jump jets work for jump sniping, that's a good place. And you only need to commit, say, 2 tons to make it work for mobility's sake. I think that would be a good balance. What is going on in my chat? Eagle, what the fuck?
Literally, since the last time I came on War Room and I was wearing a sleeveless hoodie, I'll just show up in games and then just constantly people are like, "Hey, are your arms cold?" That's all I get nowadays. So I figured I'd up the ante. I went with a sleeveless sweater vest this time.
Dude, that's classy as shit. What can I say?
Classy. I'm a classy gentleman.
Yeah,
Eagle is too hot to be cold.
Thanks.
Well, we
You
just
look
went.
great, too.
We just went there. Okay, more thoughts on jump jets. Is there more? Is there more we want to talk about?
I have 2 more points, but
Go ahead.
I'll let our guest go first.
Cat.
Does anybody ever try it out, the jump jets on the Victor?
Yeah, they feel fine to me.
Yeah, they feel just fine.
Yeah,
Recharge
just a little
slower.
more cooldown.
That's the bothering thing.
Mm-hmm. Which does make a difference. Like you do notice it,
Yep.
but other than that, it's
Like what I found is I would do pretty commonly is I would jump up, take my alpha, and then land, and then quickly do a second jump where I get off just that second round of just AC5s, and that's kind of tough to do.
yeah. What I used to do, and obviously mediums aren't as bad, but what I used to do with my Shadowhawks is I would jump up alpha, and if you if you just tapped your jump jets enough, you could hover a little bit to pop off a second AC5 before you dropped. And it's harder to do that now.
Well,
Also,
one thing I'd point out is that
they fixed
before the patch, I saw about 60% Highlanders and 40% Victors in just when I was doing pug drops, in terms of like relative numbers. And since the patch, I've seen like 90% Victors.
Yeah, I think the shift towards the Victors is largely in part because of that tonnage investment in the Highlander now. Like 6 tons, you're basically saying you have 84 tons for the rest of your mech to work with, and that's 4 tons away from what a Victor is with the 1 ton jump jet investment, or 2 if you want to go that far. So you're getting a pretty similar pop-tarting loadout, probably with maybe, if you're running an XL, a faster engine, decent armor, so you have speed. You can put some firepower on there. It's becoming the de facto jump sniper mech. But like I was saying, I think the changes on the 18th may make that go back towards the Cataphract 3D. That's something to consider, because the Cataphract is still a very, very good mech to be running as a jump sniper as well. I think the Victor is just the new Highlander now.
And guys, we have breaking news.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Dun, 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 dun.
Can steal my thunder. It's my show, damn it, Eagle.
You take it. You take it.
So Phil's in the chat. He just said, Paul, let out some info. March 18th, Victor pilots want my head on a desk. There's a script for the broadcast. Basically, jump jets are coming for that class. I would assume that Syria is then right, that the jump jet tweaks will be coming for all weight classes. I think they just wanted to probably introduce it to the Highlander first, because that was really the problem child, and see if it was effective in doing what they wanted it to do. And there was
That's pretty
silence
much
in
the guinea pig before the hammer comes down.
Yeah, pretty much. Man, it's gonna be a pretty different game.
So the Victor's like a one, the 2 week thing now, right? Like that's gonna come
It's
to
the UAC.
Enjoy it for the time being.
Yeah.
It's the UAC with the 20% jam, or the 10% jam, was it?
I think it was only actually like 15, but it was still ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, he'll still have nothing on closed beta where they just didn't jam, so there was no reason not to take UX.
Cough rehashing old material.
Hey man, I love bringing that shit up.
There was a time a while back where Atlases existed and Cataphracts existed and Highlanders and Victors didn't, and that was kind of the go-to, right? So if Victor's getting nerfed, but the Class 3 jump jets, which are the Cataphracts, aren't getting touched, maybe we're back to those days. Who knows?
Oh, like, that's why I was saying that I'm hoping it goes all the way down the board in the same proportions that they've used.
So that would leave the Cataphract as one of the best jump sniping mechs after this possible 18th patch, because those high energy hardpoints are the best energy hardpoints you can get out of a jump sniping mech in the game.
2 PPC Gauze is coming back, man. I'm telling you. Yeah,
I've been excited. I've been playing that loadout for,
Dude, me too.
a long time.
So much fun.
It's time.
So, well, Siri, you had a couple more points that you wanted to talk about, actually, about jump jets before, and I want to do that before we move on to any speculation about what the game's going to look like after that change.
Okay. Basically, what I was going to say was that I am very confused by them applying twist reduction to the legs, but not also the torso. Because in, like, 90% of the scenarios, except when you're close in being brawled by a light, it's really the torso twist that you're using.
Well, so I can answer to that, actually. With one jump jet now, on a Highlander, to do a full 180 degree turn with your legs, you need to use your entire jump jet charge on one jump jet. On two jump jets.
Right, but your torso twist is also like 180 degree range.
Right, but so you've been in this situation in a brawl where you want to jump over a mech towards the outside of the fight and turn so that your entire body is facing inward, including your legs. To do that, you now have to use your entire 2 jump jet fuel supply, as opposed to before where it was like, a third or something like that.
Okay, but I'm talking more like just during general target acquisition, like when you're...
Yeah, my
if
argument
there's
would be,
40 degrees off from where you were jumping up, you're generally only using torso twist to acquire that.
Oh yeah, see, I don't think that was a jump sniping thing. I think that was a general mobility thing. I think that was to inhibit jump jet's use in brawling, not in jump sniping. At least that would be my interpretation of it.
Right, I'm just saying that I think maybe applying it to torso twist as well would help curb, if they need it, help curb pop-tarting even further, if that's still a problem.
Yeah, it's a good call. Yeah. Well, so the thing is, I don't think they want jump sniping to completely go away. I think they want it to still be possible. They just want it to be a huge commitment where, like, that's your specialized role. Like, you're going to jump snipe, and that's all you can do. And if you get brawled, you're as screwed as an LRM boat. So, I don't know. At least that's kind of what I would like to see. I think it'd be fun. Because then you'd have, like, direct fire and indirect fire support mechs in the form of LRMs and jump snipers. And then you'd have brawlers, and it'd be so good. Guys, such possibilities. You had a second point, Siri. You said you had 2.
I think I may have said it already.
We can go with that. I'm fine with it.
If we want to talk about brawlers, I would like to talk about La Malenche.
Oh God. Okay, so yeah, let's go through the patch notes really quick. First off, you guys, there's a new hero mech. It's the Banshee. Good thing we spent all that time on Sarna figuring out which one it was last week. Okay. Eagle, I know you've been looking forward to this since I talked to you and told you you could be on the show this week. Let's hear it.
So here's my hot take on La Malenche. Yeah, a lot of people have looked at the other variants that are available for the Banshee and said, you know what? A lot of them look significantly better than La Malinche. There's one you can put an AC-20 and 6 medium lasers in. That's pretty good. There's another one that you can run 3 AC-5s or 2 UAC-5s and 2 AC-2s in and some medium lasers. That looks like a decent brawler. But La Malinche has 2 arm-mounted energy hardpoints. And let me tell you the advantage of that. They're underslung. So it looks like you've got a leaf blower. And it's actually a PPC. So it's good. It's viable. And that's my hot take on La Malinche.
I have to say that those low slung arm points, they look prime for some large pulse lasers. I mean, if you asked me, you know, competitive build, like what's your go-to, I'd say, well, dude, I gotta get the La Malinche. I gotta put some dual large pulses, a flamer in the face, and an LBX. Like that's all I need. All I need. I'll eat through Highlanders all day. I don't know what you're talking about. It's perfect.
Would a flamer in the face not blind you?
You would be able to see nothing on the bottom half of your screen.
But why would you have to see anything when you're in La Malinche?
God damn it!
This is too much.
See, I had a different hot take on it.
Let's hear it, Siri. What was your hot take?
My hot take was that it was a steaming turd.
I think, yeah, the hero's trash, but the other variants might be not actually too bad. Like, I'm gonna buy him just because I need a new mech to play.
Yeah, playing last night, I noticed most people in La Malinche defaulted AC-23 large lasers. At first, they're running stock. Yeah, at first they're running that, and then getting around 4 AM or so last night. I mean, almost every single one I saw was AC-23 large laser.
Wait, where's the third energy hardpoint? Torso?
Left torso.
Gotcha. Dude, I'm just disappointed. Flamer in the head, guys. Come on. Disappointed in all of you. Yeah, so... the phrase underwhelming as a hero mech comes to mind, but the other variants look pretty sweet, actually. I'll bring those up on Smurfy really quick if you guys want to chatter about them.
Before we move on, I'd like to point out I'm perfectly okay with the hero mech being trash, because if it was the best one of the bunch, then meh.
Well,
disappointed.
Dude, well, don't forget, I can't remember if it was on Outreach HPG or if it was on r/MWO, but there was a thread being like, why can't people stick to canon about, like, why can't they stick to canon about hero mechs? It's like, look at the Banshee. You would have had a hero mech with jump jets and blah blah blah. And I was like, and then everybody's butts would have been so hurt that they'd have had to go and create their own community about how pay to win the game is. Like, come on, guys. Seriously?
Here's a question for you. Do you guys feel that the hero mech should intentionally never be the best variant?
Absolutely.
Of 4?
It
Or
should
do you
be.
feel that it should be the best variant just as if there's 4 variants for a mech, 25% of the time it's the variant that happens to be the best one? Or do you think
Absolutely should
PGI has
always-
any idea of what the best variant's going to be?
They have to know by now. It's a pretty easy formula. Jump jets are good. High-mounted weapon hardpoints are good. There
Closely
you
clustered
go.
weapons are good for convergence.
Closely clustered weapons are good. Wide things are bad. Armpits are good. Like, it's a very easy list. I think that hero mechs should be like the X5. They should be pay for variety. They should be like the Misery. They should be pay for variety. Like, sure, the Misery's really good, but it's still like, you can still use other stalkers.
Well, even the Misery is towing the line, because there was a point where the 2 PPC AC-20 was, and arguably still is, one of the best stalker loadouts.
Oh yeah.
That's probably the entire reason they did nerf the AC-20.
Yeah.
I would say the Misery is the most overpowered hero mech. With Dragon Slayer. Shit.
I was gonna say, yeah. The like 1800 games in my Dragon Slayer have made me believe that those PPCs being mounted in the torso is incredibly unfair.
Yeah, I suppose Dragon Slayer probably. But see, that's the kind of thing where it shouldn't be that overpowered. Just because it's just like it's a factor of how the game works right now, which sucks.
It's not even that, though. It's like, you put the same loadout in one of the other Victors, I think it's what I run on like the 9B. It's actually on paper more powerful with 2 Ultras and 2 PPCs compared to like the 1 Ultra, 1 AC5 that I run on the Dragon Slayer.
It's the convergence, though.
Yeah, and the convergence is such a big deal that, like, I love my Dragon Slayer, and I curse that 9B for all it's worth.
Yeah, I should buy a
That's
Dragon
also-
Slayer.
I just want to say, Arup made a good point that the Ember is probably the best of the fire starters as well. The other ones are probably slightly worse than their Jenner counterparts, but Ember does bring something different to the field that in certain situations makes it superior. Not every situation, but some.
Yeah,
That's
and see,
interesting.
there's the curious case of I'm kind of okay with that because of how cheap the Ember is. And like if I was by principle, I'm not okay with it, but I've been letting it slide a little.
The example
It gets
the example I would throw out is if the Boar's Head had a ballistic hardpoint in each torso, what would everybody have said? Because technically, it's like hardpoint wise, which is kind of what they go by. It's no different than the other ones, other than that you can mount 2 AC20s on it. Like it's when the difference becomes so great and the price is so high that only certain people can use it.
And I've done this rant before, but my entire issue with it is the fact that they are pricing by weight.
Because if you're trying to balance all mechs against each other, they should all cost the same.
That's not canon, dude.
I know.
No knows.
And is...
Oh no. A
Okay.
first-person shooter isn't canon. What?
Oh my god, it's almost like translating something that used to be played on a tabletop with dice is really hard into a first-person shooter that involves lots of players and graphics and shit. Oh no.
We just made some people out there very furious, though.
But BattleTech is everything, and we should be using the exact values. Clan PPCs have to do 15 damage.
If clan PPCs do 15 damage, I will never play an IS mech again. Just
You know what happened, though? Garth said that it would happen over his dead body, and then he got fired.
15 damage PPCs. The Masakari will have a 60,000 meter alpha.
And
Let
then
that
explode from the heat.
Let that sink in really quickly.
Ghost Heat was the savior all along.
See? I'm just saying. Anyway, other Banshee variants. So we've got me selecting everything really quickly. So you got the 3S, 1 energy in the left arm, 1 ballistic in the left torso, AMS in the CT, energy in the CT. That's dumb. I hate that. I hated that with the Awesome too, where you couldn't actually use all the hard points. 5 energy, 1 missile in the right torso. That one doesn't sound. That's just a huge. Oh, and then 1 energy in the head. That's just a huge energy boat.
It's kind of begging for like an AC-20 and 6 medium lasers or 7 medium lasers if you're aggressive.
It's a fat Highland, or it's a fat Battle Master.
And with the slow recharge time too to manage heat, that'd be a good candidate for actually running a Gauss rifle with that many mediums.
You could do
Wait,
that.
sorry, is that the 3S we're discussing?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I started from the bottom because we talked about the La Malentia. Should wait, hold on. Where's
The leaf
Grim?
blower.
I should grab Grim, make him come up here and say that name because he does a great Hispanic accent. Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, for me at least, that's just like the step up from what I want to run on my Phoenix Battle Master, which is an AC-10 and 6 mediums. So this will just be an AC-20 and 6 mediums, if not more. You can fit 7 mediums without putting anything in the arms.
The best fit I've come up with it for it so far. AC-20, 6 mediums, 1 large.
Yeah.
No ghost heat.
There you go. Yeah, that'd
That
be pretty
will
sick.
be a pretty damn mean brawler.
Large in
Also
the
20 double heat sinks.
Yeah, you can put the large in the CT too, and then even if
Zombie.
you strip down, yeah, it's a zombie assault mech.
And
And
it's
one
on
thing
the
we should
standard
point out is,
325.
regardless of variant we talk about, every single Banshee is absolutely a brawler. There's nothing, no hard points in the upper half of the mech, so
Yep.
any fire support, and there's none of them that boat missiles, so
Right.
there's nothing else. It's a brawler and that's it.
Well, I'd argue with you on the 3E, but we'll get there. 3M, arguably the worst one, although it could have some fun builds. 3 energy in the left torso, 4 in the right, and 1 in the head.
Problem with it is, compared to 3S, it is abhorrently lackluster.
Yeah.
You're trading 1 energy hardpoint for a ballistic hardpoint and a missile hardpoint.
Mm-hmm. The thing that you can do is you could do some stupid shit like a bunch of larges and like some mediums or something like that, or like a PPC. I'm gonna buy it purely because I don't want to buy the hero mech, but I have no idea what I'm gonna run on that. Probably 2 larges, 4 mediums, 5 mediums, 2 larges, 5 mediums. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but then that exact loadout you do on the 3S. Go big. 2 large, 6 medium.
There you go. YOLO swag. Let's do it. That would look. Can you?
7
Actually,
large pulse.
well, Stalker is 85 pounds or 85 tons, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can run 6 large on a Stalker, you could fit 10 more tons worth of heat sinks in this bitch.
I guess you could. Except it would
If
be
you
low
can fit them
mounted.
in hard points.
Yeah, it'd be low mounted as.
But it's 6 large lasers. Like, that's still a lot of damage. I mean,
Hold that thought. Move on, and I'll see what you can do with it.
all right, Siri's gonna build it quick. And then the one that we're all kind of excited for, because it's a bunch of ballistics on an assault mech, even though they're all in the same torso. 4 ballistics in the left torso, 3 energy in the right, and an energy in the head. I'm putting as many ACs on that thing as I can. That's gonna be a couple 5s, couple 2s, and I'm gonna be walking around with a Jaeger mech in my left torso. Like, that's just gonna be fun. Like, that's going to be a fun build to play.
And what you can do is you can do exactly 3 AC5s or exactly 2 UAC 5s and 2 AC2s.
I think if you do 3 AC5s with 2 PPCs, you can stuff like 18 double heat sinks or something like that in there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, with like 6 tons of ammo.
Oh my god, hold on. Okay, let's do Ruffle Waffle builds mechs on live stream.
Wait, what are you trying to build?
I'm building the 4 ballistic hardpoint. Is that really the stock loadout?
I'm just going to come back with the verdict on the 6 large laser idea.
Okay.
It is going to be utterly terrible.
Okay.
Why? Is
Too hot.
because that both arms have lower and hand actuators. So, compared to a Stalker, that's 4 fewer crit slots to work with.
Yep.
And because of how it acts up, you can actually only fit 2 heat sinks in each arm, as opposed to the 3 of the Stalker.
Okay. Fair enough.
So you come out with only 21 heat sinks.
For what it's worth, according to this, the stock build on the Banshee 3E is a PPC, a small laser, and an AC5.
That's what's up.
And that was the big complaint that a lot of people had about the Banshee. I remember G-Man wrote a big post predicting what the next assault mech was going to be, and his argument against the Banshee was that the stock loadouts were so garbage, ridiculously garbage.
You're gonna have to put so much stuff in this thing, like.
But I mean, in the hindsight, consider that every single stock loadout is garbage.
That's true, but like the hard point, like they had to add so many hard points to these things to make them worthwhile.
Which good. I have no problem with PGI adding hard points.
They do a fairly good job with taking creative liberties, so I'm not upset.
You white knight.
I know. God, how dare I enjoy anything that anyone does for me for free? I can't believe that I enjoy things I don't have to pay for. How dare I? God.
Look, he's positively glowing.
Hold on. Let me sit back.
Oh wait,
really
that's
quick.
just because he's bald.
What?
Shut up. I was gonna use the zoom in feature on my new webcam to do something cheeky, but the moment has passed. So are you guys excited for this mech? Is what it boils down to. Like, are you guys gonna play him? Are you guys gonna buy him? What's up?
Yeah.
Don't all trip over it at once.
I will play the triple ballistic one or quad ballistic one for sure.
I think I'm gonna wait for a sale for the hero mech down the line. Yeah, the ballistic one sounds like a lot of fun. I think it fits the 95 tonner gap well.
Yeah, I do wonder if in competitive play, if there'll be enough use for the builds to take them over to DDC with the ECM benefit. I guess we'll have to see how that works out. Because it's only 5 extra tons to get the ECM, right? But I'll buy them myself and play them and enjoy them. That's for sure.
Yeah,
with Marek restrictions, it might actually have its place only in the Marek Civil War.
purely because of the tonnage.
Yeah.
On no jump jets matches, you might see this. Actually, that's a good point.
Depending on how space poor I am, I may end up, or rather how space rich I am. I'm currently space poor. I must make money with my premium time to be space rich.
Oh yeah, I activated my space. I activated my space cache.
I'll probably buy them for fun. And if jump jets are nerfed to parity with non-jump jet mechs, oh shit, that was the point I forgot earlier. I'll get back to that.
Yep.
If jump jet mechs are on near even footing with non-jump jet mechs, then I think the 3M and 3S could be good brawlers and could have a place, and that would be contingent upon how those changes on the 18th play out. Coincidentally, when the Banshees are released.
Huh, it's almost like they planned it. Actually, they probably didn't plan that, I'm not gonna lie.
What I was going to say earlier was, or forgot to mention earlier, was that I think the next step, even if jump jets have all their turn reduced for actual combat use, there's still going to be a big difference for non-combat use, just the sheer mobility of getting around Canyon, for example.
How many tons of AC5 ammo do you think you need for 3 AC5s?
6? 5?
8?
I would say 5 because I usually take 4, but you know, you have one extra. It's about the DPS you're getting out of it, right? Not so much.
In a comp match, you could probably get away with 4 because you're focus firing and getting stuff down. In a pug match, 4 would never be enough.
Yeah, 8 tons for pug match, man.
8 tons for pug match.
My quad AC5 Jaeger, I burn through 8 tons like often enough with it.
Anywho, finishing my point, they still need to roll back the movement changes a little, I think. Until then, jump jets will still be useful, even just having one.
I like the hill climb changes, though. That's the thing. I think they're in a good place.
The hill climb module sucks, though.
We don't talk about that module. It doesn't exist. Come on, guys.
That would be really useful for those non-jump jet mechs.
It's true. I mean, I suppose they could make it effective.
I bought it for our match against Credit last night, because it was a no jump jet match, and then Credit bailed.
Oh,
they
So I
bailed on
spent
us
6 million.
too. Aw.
Can't see that.
Actually, I gotta say, in their credit, they did ask to play, and it was just a little bit too late.
Did you really just say that?
in their
I
credit.
just said it. Ha 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 ha. Boo!
We should be booing you, not the other way around.
Well, it was accident. They said it on purpose.
Alright, guys. Here is the new meta build for the Banshee. Ready? Ready for this? Standard 325. ERPPC. 3 AC5s. 6 tons of ammo. And a flamer in the head.
Just one ERPPC?
Just 1 ERPPC.
Hmm.
I could probably fit
Nah.
more.
Nah.
I'm kidding. That's not meta at all. That's just what I've been doing for the last 5 minutes.
You came up with a Gauss rifle and a PPC. It's a Shadowhawk. You can run that in a Shadowhawk, really.
Yeah, but that shoots a lot
What have you
faster
done
than a
with your
Gauss
40
rifle.
tons? You've wasted 40 tons.
No, I've gone so
Yeah.
wrong. Oh, guys, shit. Okay, there were way more patch notes that we. Champion Cataphract. Anybody care? 3, 2, 1. Nobody cares.
It's terrible, it runs LBX.
Yeah, DX11.
Better than the dragon.
All right,
Gotta give it that
DX11.
much.
What do you guys think?
I think it's very taxing on anyone's system at the moment.
I haven't
you-
had the ball breaking problems everybody else has been seeming to have with it though.
Yeah, just like before when you used to delete your shader files every once in a while and then you'd play the game and you'd get those FPS dips for the first few games, it was loading those shaders back. I think the same thing happens with DirectX 11 when you first play it. But what I do know about DirectX 11 is they're probably going to they're going to optimize it a little bit more in the future, and they're going to make it the eye candy platform for the game in terms of graphics. So I don't think it's anywhere near in its final form, and I'm not even sure it's really worth running for stability issues. But if it works like it does for you, Raffle, then
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know,
I
it's-
haven't
might
had
as
any
well.
problems.
Yeah, I've got a computer that can run it. I shut it off just because I didn't see the game didn't look any better to me in DX11 than it did DX9, and I was just getting every now and then that the big dip in FPS that just annoyed me. So I shut it off. But once at some point, if they start adding, it looks better in DX11, I'll probably turn it back on.
And I think
I've
that
been in
will
the same
come.
boat.
But honestly, I don't think any of us are super worried about the graphics at this point. I think we're all more concerned about content. So
yeah.
I'm glad that they put it in. It's good for them. They added another feature. That's fine. But
Well, for people with a really good video card and a weak processor, it might be advantageous because I'm using about 50% less CPU now than with DX9. But it's costing me about 15 FPS with DX11.
And
So
that's
if you
the
have a
big
weak
thing people have said
processor and a
is
monster card, it might work out better for you.
that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
it shifts the load from your CPU to your GPU. Because before, MWO is an incredibly CPU-intensive game.
Yeah, I think somebody was mentioning that. And I didn't quite understand how it had worked, but that's interesting. Here is the size of the blurb about how jump jets now work, which is really tiny, but we went over that already.
J-Man 5.
JMan 5. Here's something that's pretty big. All maps now have turrets in assault mode.
Yeah, they nerfed lights with that.
Yes. Assault is
They
They
right.
nerfed Assault with that.
They nerfed everything with that.
Shout
These
out
things
to
have
Skirmish now.
150 HP. Like, what?
Yeah, River
Like-
City now is just sniper map purely. Everyone just
Okay, yeah, well, I mean, Siri, I know you have a rant about this.
I have a rant, but I'm going to go last,
Okay.
as is usual with my
I
rants.
mean, I have a feeling mine's probably about the same as yours, but you weren't in that first drop tonight, were you?
I was watching.
Yeah, that was a little bit of miscommunication and a little bit of fuck turrets, man. Like, dude, turrets. Okay, so every comp has a light drop. There's always that that light mech drop, and if you're playing on assault, there's literally like zero incentive to leave your base now.
No. And even in the 12-man practice queue, we've been running against teams constantly that are just like sitting behind their base telling ghost stories and making s'mores.
Yeah,
it's
like
Turtle
Like,
Warrior.
It's ludicrous.
it's bad, and yeah, it's really bad, especially in that light drop, because those turrets destroy light mechs. Because you know what they do? Unless you are perfectly careful about your jump jets the entire way over to the enemy base, if you get there, guess what the first thing those lasers target are? They target your legs, because it's the weakest component on your body by like a quarter of a fraction of a percent, because you've taken leg damage. So then all of those laser targets, they're targeting your legs. You're just boned. Like, I don't know. It is very, very difficult to play a light drop on assault now. I think MRBC is switching its light drop to skirmish now.
I can confirm that.
Yes.
At least the first drop in MRBC is going to be skirmish mode, potentially the second.
Yeah, and I completely understand that.
The LRM turret's supposed to target
It's
you
just,
within
I
500
don't get it.
meters.
It's just greatly if you're fighting beside your base.
It's like an additional whole mech, but Surly had a point about the LRM turrets.
Yeah, they're not supposed to target you within 400. They're only supposed to target you within 450 meters. But if an enemy targets you within 1,000, the LRMs are on you.
Really?
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah,
especially on
I was getting
Caustic
targeted
Valley.
on Canyon Network. is like my theme song, like the entire match, just crossing past the theta point. Anytime I'd get R'd up by something, incoming missile, incoming missile.
I actually like that.
Was there something from your team near their base activating the turret?
Yeah, they were doing a push down the right side of the map, and I was getting targeted up by some other lights like around the theta area. So every time I'd get R'd up, I'd get LRMs being launched at me from the turrets.
That's super interesting. I didn't know they worked like that.
I was gonna say that my understanding was that if something was near enough to activate it, and then that thing that was near enough to activate was in cover, then it would shoot people further away.
I'd like to point out too, the other thing is your maps are asymmetrical, right? So take Caustic, for example. On Caustic, on one of the sides, as soon as you push past the caldera, turrets are on you. On the other side, no, you have a little bit of space to push past the caldera in the middle, and they're not on you, right? So
and you have that little hill on the side for cover.
They need to put the spawn points for Caustic where they used to be, because that would fix that.
They need to make a time machine and not put in turrets.
I like turrets. I like the concept. I just think that we need attack and defend for that to be a thing. I don't think that they belong in Assault, because as fun as they are in Assault, they're a huge problem for 12-mans. Like, I do think it would be fun if we started implementing, like, so right now we have the home and away teams for a lot of leagues, and you get to pick, you know, like your drop type. So if you're the home team and you pick Assault, because you're obviously being a bastard and picking Assault, you then have to be the one to, like, engage. Like, if it's a draw, then you lose. So as long as you put a burden on one team to push into the other, I don't know. I still, but that's only for, like, heavy, like, drops though, because for light drops, there's just no way. Because if you have to push into those turrets, you just die. You lose.
Well, even then, even if you put the incentive on one team to push, it's completely unfair because the turrets now represent a huge advantage. This was one thing, it kind of felt bait and switchy to me, was that the first two maps that they demoed turrets on, River City and Crimson, these turrets, like on Crimson, they're spread out over like a full kilometer.
Yeah.
You're only ever engaging one at a time. River City, they're a bit more clustered, but they're still pretty spread out. And because of all the buildings you have for cover, only 2 or 3 are ever engaging you at a time. Like, you can run past, and we did this to HOD. We ran past most of the turrets, got on the base. There was 1 or 2 turrets firing at us. We killed them, and like out of the like 6 or 7 turrets, those were the only ones we cared about. But now with all of the new maps that they put it on, like Canyon, there are like 8 turrets right around the friggin' cap.
Someone took a pen, drew a circle around the base points, and were like, turrets here now.
Yeah, and so like that testing that we had over the past month is completely inaccurate to how they play out on all of these new maps.
One point that nobody mentioned was, I think it's probably my biggest gripe, is that I'm able to target the turrets like on any part of the map. You know, like I only want to be able to target the turrets when I can hurt it, you know, when it's deployed. Just the fact that it looks like a UAV on the map blocks out most of the map. I can't really see well, and I'm in a base or in my base.
My 2 things about them are they need a new logo. They need to look like turrets on the minimap, and they need to be worth something to kill. Because it's like 50 XP right now.
Yeah, 1000 C builds and 50 XP.
Yeah, fuck that. Come on,
I
give me
kill
like
them so I don't have to target them.
Give me something more than that. Also,
well,
they destroy. Just I'd like to throw this out there for those of you that are stat whores. They destroy your accuracy stat because they don't count as a hit.
Yeah, but those are all circumstantial to the actual issue.
I know.
You know, game balance.
I'm griping.
But what I was going to say was that before turrets, Assault was in a good place between attack and defense. And we've gone over this on some of our casts, where the attacker may not be able to dictate the terrain, but he dictates the pace and the aggression. And he can catch the defender off guard and get a limited engagement. Now with the turrets and the fact that you can just camp up back there, you're never getting a limited engagement. It's going to be near an equal fight or worse. And I think Twinkie also pointed out that it marginalizes the role of the light, because pushing into that death ball of turrets is rather unfriendly.
Yeah, if you're like the last 3 lights left on a match and they got a couple of assaults running around, you can't cap anymore.
Yeah.
It's like no longer an option on some maps, especially like HPG is one of them.
And in heavier drops, it's not too bad because if there's cover, you can move up with a light, pop the turrets, shoot them with your heavier assault mechs. But it
still removes the light play.
Right. It is a complete game changer, and the leagues need to recognize that for certain modes. Like
again, assault was good. Fuck turrets, take them out. They're terrible, and
can we just why don't just add another game mode where one of them has turrets, one of them doesn't?
Or reduce the count down to like 3 instead of the stupidly overpowering amount they are now.
Or just make the health lower, like 150.
Yeah, and that's
150 is a ton.
Russ Bullock has been tweeting that, or retweeting people that say hit points on them should be lower. He says that's his point. So what he thinks is that they should still be there, but you should be able to kill them in 1 or 2 shots.
Yeah, like...
And maybe reduce their damage reduction. Because right now, like,
let's go
95% damage reduction or something silly?
When they're...
When they're bunkered, yeah.
If they keep the HP at like 100 and make it like 50 or 40 percent damage reduction, that would be okay. Because then you could pop them from a ways, but it would take a long time and it'd be a pain in the ass. But if you keep that, you only do 5% at distance until they pop, and then gave them like 65 or like 70 HP, something that you can't like alpha it. Well, no, 60 would be fine, because there aren't that many mechs that run a 60-point alpha.
I think just 60 or 70 HP so that a light squad could clear them out once they're active without actually just getting completely messed up.
Yeah, because a Jenner does... What's the alpha on a Jenner?
30.
30. So yeah, so if you did 65 or 70, that would mean that you couldn't clear them in just one sweep with Jenners. You'd have to have at least 3 to do it. So if you have just like a pair, you can't just one alpha it down. Yeah, I think 65 or 70 would be perfect.
Yep. If it just added like an additional minute to the lights getting to your base between them, being able to safely cap your base, that's maybe a good change. As it is now, it's much longer than that.
Yeah, like even if they're just getting shot, that gives you a 300-meter window or more before your base is getting captured. And the damage
you get an
is
advance
just a
warning
bonus
too.
on top of that. It's the advanced warning that should be the important bit from a gameplay perspective.
One of the things that I think would be fun is if they provided locks to your mechs. So if when the turret pops, the mech it's focused on gets locked for the rest of the team. So then, like, bringing LRMs in assault would actually have a purpose, because it's like, oh shit, they're assaulting the base. I have a lock on the enemy because of the turrets. Fucking rain death. Like, that could be useful. I don't know. Just a thought.
So, could we possibly see a group of light mechs with, like, Embers with dual AMS running into a base and trying to fend off all the incoming LRMs to cap it?
Yeah, the medium lasers probably still get their legs out at some point, though.
Yeah.
Personally, I'd say like 80 health, 50% reduction when bunkered.
Make Narc balance or disable turrets for X amount of time. Boom. Just balance Narc and turrets in one shot. Dude, that'd be fun.
Bentron raises a good point. The turrets ignore ECM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should have the equivalent of a BAP, so if you stay out of 180, they shouldn't see you.
That's a good idea, right? Because what sort of technology do they have that they can find an ECM mech outside of 180 that we can't actually put onto our actual mechs.
Well, clearly it just has to do with the motion of the gyroscope. It affects the sensors in a way.
Boo.
Lame.
So LRMs can
Dude,
work with seismic
realism
sensor.
has nothing to do with this game. Like
I know. I get it.
every time somebody brings up realism, I bring up the fact that an Abrams tank weighs the same as a Cataphract.
Yeah, and a cataphract should technically weigh about 400 tons if you scale
Yeah.
up the size.
Oh yeah, I was watching. This is
Come on,
complete-
guys, space polymers.
This is
Yeah,
completely
this
off
is-
topic.
This is future metal.
This is completely off topic, but I was I was watching Pacific Rim with a buddy of mine who's, you know, a big math nerd, and at the part where they like do the completely ridiculous bullshit where they're like, "Oh, we completely forgot about this really overpowered sword. Let's cut this bitch in half in midair." And they're falling from the sky. He's like, "Wait. How big is that thing?" It's like 300-400 feet tall. Okay, so it weighs. So he just like sits there for like 3 minutes during the scene doing the math. He's like, if that thing hits the Earth explodes. It's like, it's just too heavy. There's no fucking way. It's like, oh my god, Jesus. Okay, that was my little bit of off-topicness for tonight. Talked about jump jets. Talked about the Banshee. Talked about turrets. What am I forgetting, guys?
Bug fixes.
Bug fixes. Fix an issue where the large friends list... I actually have noticed that. My friends list does load a lot faster. Weapons range
You're
affects
so popular.
Artemis. Dude, I am. Well, so the problem is I have never, like, cleaned my friends list. I've been a part of, like, 2 different units, and it's just like, oh, man. Man. So I have a ton of friends. What can I say? It's the tall thing. Artemis now works with warp range modules. Testing grounds now affect pilot modules and mech efficiencies. That's been coming for such a long time. Some Windows 8 bug fixes that nobody cares about because Windows 8 is a trash operating system. Dude, it is. Fucking go buy a tablet. Use Windows 7. Fix a bug in the hardware scanning shaders that impact the Radeon users. Okay, so some nice bug fixes, but nothing like gameplay wise.
Notably missing the target designation bug fix,
Yeah.
but confirmed that they are aware and some sort of priority is being placed on it. So hopefully, aka hotfix.
I don't know how many of you have done programming, but to me that just screams of like an integer somewhere that is doing something incorrectly, and it's just a matter of sorting through all of that shit to find it. Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what causes it. I don't know what their shit looks like, but
Somebody put an accidental plus plus.
yeah, it's something like that, and they just have to find it, and it's a pain in the ass because I'm sure the code for this game is huge.
You don't like calling out Sierra? That's what you're saying?
What is the one?
I don't like calling out Zulu.
Papa?
Yeah,
No, P is penis. No matter what
Quebec?
happens, P is always penis. The first time.
That's what you say? That's what you say to the rest of 228 is, hey, we're talking penis Highlander?
Victor! Penis! Shoot that bitch right in the fucking CT! That's about how the comms go when that happens.
I think the
Hit
comms
that
for
penis. Okay.
the comms for November is a little interesting as well.
God damn it! Okay. Oh, we get achievements next patch. Final stat wipe.
Woo.
Final stat wipe, guys. I finally get to like redeem my god awful KDR from whenever.
I love it too. I was one of those guys that started much after closed beta. So when people that started in closed beta talk happily about the time when ELO didn't exist and they were beating up people that just started the game and pumping up their KDR, I was the one who was losing every match 1 minute in and dying. So it was me. So I'm excited for this stat refresh.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting because, from a personal level, my stats are from they span the not competitive part of me playing this game to the competitive part, and you can see it in the mechs. Like the mechs that I bought once I started playing competitively have way better stats than the mechs that I bought before that. And so it'll be interesting to get a stat refresh and see achievements and shit like that. I'm hoping that achievements are going to come with some form of a small C-bill reward when you do them. I think that'd be fun.
Are they wiping all stats or just mech stats?
I think it's all stats.
I heard all stats, yeah.
I think it's the final stat wipe that they're ever going to do, they said. Or, well, I mean, I wouldn't hold them to that, because if there's a reason to do it again, they do it again, and that's not a big deal, but...
Damn it, I'm gonna have to grind my Spotter 5e again with this 12 jump jets and 1 medium laser to achieve the amazing, amazing 2.0 KDR.
Wasn't that just one match?
No, it was like a dozen.
Oh, dude. Jaeger's gonna be pissed. Doesn't his Dragon Slayer have like a 53-1 KDR?
Well, it topped out at like 112-1.
Oh my gosh.
That's stupid.
Hawkins
That's...
got him a few times since then. Shout out to Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawkins
It is
and a couple
SRM
BSK.
Griffin.
Hawkins and the rest of the BSK guys like specifically targeted him out when when they saw him dropping in it.
That
Like
I will not
suiciding
confirm
in
or
just to kill
deny
him.
that we were hunting Jaeger 12. That is no confirmation over here.
I'm not gonna lie, whenever I see anybody that I've had on the show in a game, I specifically try and kill them. Just for
I know
fun.
you fucking airstruck me tonight, you bastard.
Dude, that... Were you in the River City game where there were just like fucking... I think there were 4 headshots that match?
I wasn't. I was watching and listening to comms though.
We had a game on River City Night, and we like first we got a headshot with Artie, and then I actually headshot somebody with Gauss rifles, but then they had a headshot Artie, and then I think they had another headshot Artie. It was like I've never seen that many headshots in a game.
That headshot Artie you got on or headshot Gauss shot you got on Pi, he was looking away from you.
Yeah, I know. Dude, that was such bullshit. I didn't even fire my gauze simultaneously. I staggered them. I went like, tuk, tuk. And they like, there's no way. Like, I fully recognized that was complete bullshit, but somehow I got a headshot. I was aiming center mass, which on a cataphract is like the head, but he was not looking at me. It was definitely a side shot. So unless he was moving forward as my gauze rifle shot like clipped into him, but yeah, I don't know how that happened. It was fun though. Anything else you want to talk about tonight, guys? Otherwise, I have a game theory test tomorrow. I'm more than okay with calling it here. All right, Killer. Let's go around and do some closing shoutouts. We'll start at the bottom again with Eagle.
Shout out to plus size women. You're fucking sexy to me.
Dude,
I did not see that one coming.
best fucking guest ever.
That's what's up.
All right, Haim.
I don't know if I could top that. I just want to give a shout out to QQ. Good games this week. It was good playing with you guys last night. And I got a new computer last Friday, so I'm going to be streaming any matches the Lords play. And it's just Twitch TV Haim Delight.
Perfect. We'll be able to, once Siri and I start back into casting matches again, be able to get some of those done. That'll be fun. Twinkie.
Shout out to G-Man for getting #1 on Trebs in the last 4 hours of the competition.
Oh god, that's right. I forgot to talk about that. Next week. We'll mention it next week. Alright. Way to go, G-Man. Surly.
Shout out to my team, the First Sky Jaegers, because there's only 16 of us, and we can always make 12 any time of the week. So, awesome, guys.
Way to go. Having a dedicated squad is always awesome. And co-host and conqueror.
That's you, Siri.
Oh god. Well, shout out to turrets being fucking terrible. Get rid of them, please, PGI.
No. They're awesome. We just don't like them. Turrets are really good.
I just want to say that a defense turret killed someone in the QQ match, and I don't know, it's not something we were used to seeing in a competitive match, but those LRMs do go very far. And if you're a damaged back.
I think in the first drop we had against 228 today, the defense turrets got 2 kills.
Yeah, they did.
These things are they're carrying the teams.
And my other shout out is to Raffle Waffles' poor stomped ass.
Yeah, I deserve that. Can I say? As usual, shout out to everybody who came on the show. I appreciate it. Oh god, what happened to the... I'll just take that off really quick. As usual, thank you for everybody who came on the show tonight. I appreciate having everybody. It's great to have some fun people on, talk about MechWarrior. Love the game. Love doing this. I'm going to be holding a competition to come up with, for the 20th episode, we're going to be doing another drinking episode. So,
buddy.
Yeah, buddy. So I'm going to get all of my favorite MechWarrior drunks on the show. It'll be a good time. But in honor of it, over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be making a thread over at Reddit about it. There will be a competition to see who can create the best War Room themed drink. Take that how you will. I don't care. But whoever comes up with the best one, I have a copy of a few different games on Steam. I've got like... Hold on, let me look. I've got a bunch of shit. I've got like Half-Life 2, Killing Floor, Portal, bunch of shit like that. So whoever wins will have their choice of whatever shit I have lying around on my Steam account. I know that's a super awesome prize, but sadly I am poor, so that's what you get. And I will, of course, be drinking that drink on the 20th episode in honor of you, as we will be doing another drunk episode of War Room. I think the last drunk episode was like number 7 or something like that. So keep an eye out for that thread, and that should be a bunch of fun. Other than that, Siri and I are going to start actually doing casts again. I've been super busy with school. I will take full responsibility for there not being well-casted matches, or I don't know if people have been casting. I shouldn't say well-casted. I will take full responsibility for Siri and I not having casted matches recently. That's my bad.
I was about to say, I find it interesting that you think we well cast things.
I mean, what can I say? I've had a little bit to drink, as usual. No, so those will be getting started back up soon. Trial Possession for Merrick comes to an end on the 10th, and after that I will be starting up the news again about Merrick, so that'll be fun. Yeah. So as always, thanks for coming on, guys. I appreciate having y'all here, and thanks everybody for watching. It's been a blast. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Reactor
Is this where we
online.
say penis?
Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.